Hey there, good evening and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph, I am the host of this show. This is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, we're back at a Battle of the Bands for day number 23, I believe. Yep, day number 23, March 23rd, battle number 23. I think this is the second last battle in round 2. Featuring Mountain and their album Climbing from 1970 versus Warhorse and their album Red Sea from 1971. So on the surface, these are very similar bands, but realistically, they're kind of different in a lot of ways. I find the Mountain album very kind of raw and lots of kind of, it's a bit distorted. The sound is not as clear, and it's kind of, it's kind of a raw album. Lots of really heavy tracks here, lots of distortion, lots of heavy guitar on this as well. Some very southern rock sounding to the music. Like there's got a bit of an element of that in it. It's not a ton of element, but enough that I would call them southern rock. So I would say they're definitely a southern rock band, but it's not as southern sounding as some bands. Obviously, I don't think it's as southern as Leonard Skinner or 38 Special or something like that. Sorry, 68 Special. Got my numbers mixed up. Anyways, pretty solid album overall though. Of course, Mississippi Queen's on this, and that blows away everything on either album, to be honest with you. It's just such a great tune. There's a couple of other tracks on here that kind of grew on me a bit on this album too. Never in My Life, which is kind of very fast-paced kind of song for them. Very reminiscent of Mississippi Queen, though. It's got that same kind of feel to it. The other one that I like quite a bit is really not a hard song at all. It's To My Friend, and that is the acoustic bit, guitar bit. I really like this quite a bit. It's pretty interesting song, actually. The next song, The Laird, also starts with an acoustic bit, but it's kind of a lot heavier in certain areas as well. The other song I like on the album, Sitting on a Rainbow. Real southern rocky type of song. Lots of heavy guitars, and there's a cowbell in this song. Always gotta like my cowbell, right? So yeah, this is a solid song. No bad songs on here. I didn't give anything below a 5. That means it's passable. And I just think the album grew a little bit from the last time. So now we move on to Warhorse, which beat Toad out last time, and now I'm thinking after the second time it didn't do as well on this listen as it did on the first listen. Maybe the Toad album would have done better here, but I didn't choose it. I chose Warhorse, Red Sea. It's got some catchy openings and lots of riffs, and the soloing. The guitarist is pretty good on this album. I like that second song, Back in Time. It's got that guitar riff that's kind of Kinks-like. It's got that kind of Kinks sound to it. The big distraction from this album is that there's too much Hammond organ, too much organ in general, but too much Hammond organ specifically. I didn't think the vocals were as strong as they were on the Mountain album. They were probably more, I want to say forward, but I don't think that's a word. I think they're a little clearer, a little more forward, I guess, than the Mountain album. But the Mountain album's vocals fit it, and maybe that's because I'm used to them a little more than this one. But I just didn't find it was as good of a fit. The last song on it. Lots of drum fills, lots of guitar solos here. The song I liked the best on it was actually the Mouthpiece, which had this lengthy kind of drum solo to it. Lots of Hammond organ. This was a very Deep Purple-like song, I found. just very, very, very Deep Purple sounding, I think. And I'm not sure, but I think this is the band that had Pete Sampras in it. I think it is. I think this is the band that had the original bass player for Deep Purple in it. I could be wrong, but I think it is. I didn't read up on it at all. I just was listening to the music. So, but I think I remember one of the bands had the original bass player for Deep Purple in it. It makes sense if it's this band because they have some Deep Purple sound to the music, on a couple of tracks. This one also has a fairly lengthy drum solo on it and certain parts as well. So yeah, overall it was a solid album, but I just didn't. There was a couple of songs I found that were just kind of weak sisters for me. They didn't really pass, and so that just means that it's just going to come down to you've got the best song is on Mountain. The overall feel of the album is better. Most of the songs I liked quite a bit, and just overall I just think it was a better album, Mountains Climbing. So it's going to be the one going on to the next round, and the Warhorse, it's out of there. It wasn't really that close. I think Mountain kind of won it in a bit of a landslide. Maybe not as much of a landslide as Winterhawk won theirs ones, but pretty much a landslide all over. So we just have the one more battle for this round, which will come out on the following day. I think that will be, this is coming out Thursday, so that will come out, that will come out Friday morning, and I think then we go on to the third round, which then would be 4 battles for the surviving 8 things. So we're getting down to some pretty strong stuff left. I know that Golden Earring is in tomorrow's challenge, and I forgot the other band, and that band's going first. Blue Murder. So Blue Murder and Golden Earring will go on the Friday morning. I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to go because I really liked that Golden Earring album the first time I heard it. But then you got John Sykes here, so who knows how this is going to go. Anyways, this is going to go to Mountain, and Warhorse is finished for the tournament. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like below and write any comments you have below, and subscribe on the side here. It's much appreciated, and we'll be back again with another battle. Have a good night. Take care.